Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, sorry, it's been a minute since I put up a video. A lot of things has been going on in the world of professional wrestling, specifically WWE. AJ Styles, the Royal Rumble, Fastlane is tomorrow. But this video is not about wrestling. This is a review. Yes, I haven't done one of these in a long time. So today I'm talking about Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. I'm not saying that again, so from here on out, I'm just calling it Naruto Storm 4. Because I ain't saying that. That's a ridiculous title. But I'm talking about it today. I got this game day one, and this is coming from someone who has played the majority of the Storm games. I didn't play Storm 1 because, it was a PlayStation 3 exclusive, and I didn't get a PlayStation 3 till like 2013, something like that. And I didn't play Generations because I felt like it was filler, and then Revolutions came out last year, and I heard bad things about that, so I skipped out on that too. But I played Storm 2, which is my favorite at this point until I got this game, and Storm 3. I got bored with that game simply because I didn't feel like doing all that walking and story mode. I did all that in Storm 2 already. I didn't feel like doing that again. So I kind of like half played Storm 3, but I kind of knew what it was like. So coming into Storm 4, I had some expectations. It was the first one on 8th gen consoles. It's supposedly the last one of the series. So let's see if CyberConnect 2 did the IP justice and see if this is the best Storm game. Now let's start off with the story. For those of you who are hardcore Naruto fans, I'm a fan, but I don't like follow it like 24/7. I was into it, the original Naruto, like back in like fifth grade, sixth grade, something like that. That was like over a decade ago. But I've been into it. But for those of you who know more about it more than me, you know that the manga ended a while ago, and the anime is still in filler. But the game actually finishes the actual main series because the last game, Storm 3, it ended during the middle of the Ninja War. So coming into this game, if you haven't played Storm 3 or at least watched the anime or read the manga to know what's going on, you're gonna feel a little lost, and that's kind of what I did. I felt a little lost. It just shot me right back into it. But the game does do a good job to let you know like what's been going on. Who did this and who did that, stuff like that. So I do think that the story mode is solid for what it's worth. A lot of people were complaining about the still images. Now, at a certain point during the story mode, it goes past the anime, so I don't know why people were expecting full motion, actual anime video when the anime isn't even that far in the story. But I do would have liked to prefer to see the actual in-game graphics because certain parts of the story mode you actually see that, and when you do, it looks really good for what I can see. And I think that CyberConnect 2 should have just did full motion, full in-game graphics instead of these still images. But a couple of them I didn't have a problem with because with flashbacks between Kakashi and Obito, they were telling a story about back when they were kids and stuff. It was fine for that, so it wasn't all bad. It's not as bad as people make it out to be, but I do think that the story mode is the highlight of the game in terms of modes. Unfortunately, I beat the game less than 2 days, the main story. And the reason for that is A, well, I'm pretty good at the game, and B, this game doesn't force you to go around the village, going from mission to mission. You just actually just pick the mission, from like a menu, similar to how Ultimate Ninja 3 was back on the PlayStation 2, which is like probably one of my favorite games of all time. So it's kind of like that. Um, so because they did that route, it makes the story feel a lot shorter than what it really is. Well, it is really short. In fact, you'll be watching the game more than playing it. But coming from someone who doesn't read the manga really that much, well, I knew the ending, like I knew like what was gonna happen with Naruto and Sasuke, but I don't read it all the time, and I'm not gonna be reading those subtitles when I'm watching a Japanese dub. So coming from someone like that, I didn't mind it, and honestly, this is how I've been keeping up with Naruto Shippuden is through the games. So I didn't have that big of an issue with it. So I thought the story mode was good. It was solid. Uh, Other modes, challenges, I haven't touched it, but if it's like the other Storm games, it's typical. It's just filler. It doesn't really mean anything. So another mode that they put in is an adventure mode, which takes place after the main story mode, and it's the roam around and do little side missions type thing. It's complete garbage. I don't recommend playing it unless you are a completionist, like I'm not. So I find the mode to be completely worthless to me. Yes, it goes back and tells a lot of battles in the past, and that might be worth playing through the adventure mode just to see that again. But because pretty much none of it is actually voiced, you gotta pretty much read the text. I don't feel like doing all that. I'm not reading. I'm visually impaired, so I'm not gonna be squinting on my TV and trying to read this and that. No, I'm not doing that. Yes, I did that in a previous game, but that was so long ago. Now that I'm in college and stuff, you don't have time for to do all that. I barely had time to even play this game. I'm surprised I beat it that quickly. I can't remember the last time I beat a game this quickly. But at the same time, I got it on the day where it was a slow week in homework. Well, I got it day one. Speaking of which, what's with this pre-order? Now, I've been arguing with these dudes the past week or two because the game's been out for a little over a week in the U.S. about the DLC, about Naruto's son and Sasuke's daughter being pre-order bonuses, and I was saying, well, I should have them on the game anyway because they're on the disc. I mean, when you beat the main story, they even show a little clip of both of them at the end. So all of this is a big tease, and I got the game day one, but I didn't pre-order it because I didn't have the money until like the day of, and I didn't play the game full price anyway. So I I don't get it. They need to stop all this, and people need to just stop making excuses because not everybody can pre-order these games. Not everybody wants to pre-order. See, the purpose of pre-ordering a game is to reserve your copy, so when the game comes out, you don't have no worries of it selling out. The only time you really have to pre-order a game is if it's like Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty, something like that, because those games sell out like day one. So there's no excuse for that. They're already on the disc, and I have a feeling that this game may take the Dragon Ball Xenoverse route where their pre-order bonus may never be available out to the public. I'm still sitting here waiting for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta to be released to the public for Xenoverse because that was a pre-order bonus, and I still don't have him. I bought the season pass for that game. I didn't get him, so it's not fair. And I have a feeling that they're gonna do the same thing for this game. And because this game has the biggest roster in the Naruto series, I want all the characters that's available. And unfortunately, I won't be able to do that. But anyway, let's get to the gameplay. The gameplay, slightly few tweaks. One thing is that you don't have like unlimited substitution juices. I'm not sure if that was in Storm 3. I don't remember. That was like so long ago. But that's a good little balance because you can't just like rely on it. Because I know a lot of people button mash that button. The one thing I do notice about the combat is that a lot of times it's either whoever runs out of the stocks first is pretty much screwed. It's just a waiting game. That's pretty much what it is. Especially when you're playing against someone who's good, you're just waiting. So that's just a small little nitpick. But other than that, this is definitely the best Storm game. Uh, in terms of the characters, there's not too many new ones because most of the roster is pretty much the same. But that's not a bad thing because I wasn't that much into 3 anyway. So a lot of the roster I didn't even play with in Storm 3, so some of this is new to me. And then the team Ultimate Jutsus, I didn't even know were in Storm 3. So a lot of them are brought back into Storm 4 with a handful of new ones. So they're all new to me. So and it all looks great. So that's what I like about the game. This being on an 8th gen consoles, it looks good for what I can tell. When I first saw the reveal, I thought, it doesn't look all that great. It doesn't look that much different. It could have been on last gen consoles, but actually playing it for myself, I can see why. Um, I would say the graphics is more like a enhanced version of Storm 3. It's just a lot more cleaned up version. Even though the particle effects look a little better. But that's not a bad thing because the game looked great anyway. Unless you're playing on a PC, it's not a overhaul in terms of the graphics, but it's still good. I think all Naruto fans will appreciate it, and all of the ultimates look great. Some of the ones that I saw in the previous games look even better here because of the improved textures. So graphically, it looks great. Gameplay wise, it's great. I do like all the all the new characters that they added in. Freaking Sage Six Paths Naruto is overpowered. Uh yeah, this game has a lot of good characters. Um so the tournament mode is pretty good. I do wish it was 16 players instead of 8, but can't have them all. This ain't Dragon Ball Z, but I think they should have added that. With all these characters on this roster, they could have definitely done it. In terms of the DLC, for what I can tell, you're getting more jutsus, you're getting more costumes. Only thing I don't like is that they're reselling costumes from previous games. Like when Storm 3 came out, there was a lot of costumes that came with the game and the DLCs, and they're reselling it in Storm 4. And I got Storm 3 full burst, so I had all the DLC right off the bat. So now, if I want to get the season pass, I have to buy it to get those costumes again, which is just ridiculous. It should have been in the game to begin with. But anyway, do I think this is the best Storm game? I'm gonna say yes, only because of the story is good, even though it's way too short. The adventure mode is trash. For what I've seen, the online is pretty good. There's a couple people that are exploiting the game, but that happens all the time. But oh well, you can't do nothing about that. But I do think this is the best Storm game. So if you're a big Naruto fan, you probably already have the game. Um, let's see what CyberConnect does next. I hope they make a Dragon Ball Z game. That's what I would like to see. See what their take would be on a Dragon Ball Z game. But anyway, yes, my final score will be an 8. It would be like a 6 if it wasn't for the roster and the gameplay and the improved graphics. But because of it being so good, um, it's pretty much saves it. So the game gets a solid 8 for me. Go out and get it, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. It's been a long road, but I'm still in here, and I'll catch you.